It's my time, it's my season, and I've got a good reason to open my mouth. Gonna let it out, open your mind, grab your friend, hope you listen to the end. The vibe is good and learning meets on She Who Speaks.
Hi, welcome back to another episode of She Who Speaks. I'm Renee, lover of a good laugh and all things behavioral. With me, we have Marilyn. She's unassuming, but with a good listening ear. And Love Min. She's an unstoppable force with an angelic voice. Together, we are She Who Speaks. And as we say always, we're so happy that you're here. We've been getting a lot of feedback from you by personal messages, and you're telling us how impactful the discussions have been. We are so happy to hear that. Here's a way that you can help us take or chat on our discussion even further. You can like, subscribe, share. Don't forget also, if you want to be part of the discussion, to just jump into our comment section and let us know what you think. We're so happy that you're here, and we just can't wait to continue to do this journey with you. Speaking about this journey, we were kind of talking a little bit off camera, ladies, about something that's happening. It's kind of a bit of a hot topic. We're talking about the Meghan Markle interview with Oprah. And we were kind of just talking about so many different aspects of it, not meaning to like do a deep dive, but I was sharing with you ladies that one of the things that kind of caught my attention was the fact that she was doing this brave thing. She was
Mhm.
definitely going against the norms of speaking out against, the royal family, her experiences.
Mhm.
Um, I mentioned how brave it was to also even openly share her mental health struggles during that time. And what was a little heartbreaking, to say the least, was this very prominent media person, Piers Morgan, I think his name is, who just
Mhm.
kind of came on and said, I don't believe a word she said. I don't
Yeah,
believe it. I think that
being
was
very
so cold.
dismissive toward her experience.
Yeah. I think that was so cold. And I think, too, it's like a slap in the face of anyone who has a mental illness and they are trying to rise above that and hope to empower and encourage other people, to just share their story and have someone use their very big platform to go, I don't believe anything she said.
Mhm.
How did you ladies feel about the whole situation?
It was painful to watch, but I also admire her bravery in a
Hmm.
sense when she's really going against the norm. She's speaking out about things that maybe has been going on for decades,
Yeah.
and it was hurtful for her to see once again we don't take seriously women's pain, women, and as a woman of color, it was really dismissive. They make it like she was overreacting, and
Hmm.
I feel like that's not his comment. I felt sometimes because you look like you're doing well, because you carry yourself well,
Hmm.
and you appear strong, people will not give you the not the credit, but like they will not even give you the benefit of the doubt that that can be
Yeah.
I'm carrying everything well, but I'm going through a mess, and because I guess she carried herself so well,
Hmm.
now it's questioned that she was going through such hell, and when she said she was to the point of uh, questioning if she needs to end her life
Hmm.
after getting married and being the queen, or I mean the duchess.
Princess, yeah, Duchess, yeah, yeah, yeah.
That lets you know that appear like don't the media is doing a good job to sell your dream, but
Mhm.
the reality what people are going through, like you never know what's going on behind the screen.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
That's my take on that. Hmm.
Right. To me, there are many layers to this. First of all, to me, it's like a deja vu
Yeah,
story.
yeah.
Like Harry's mom literally has been through the same thing,
Yeah.
like
Hmm.
the bullying and this all of this thing until she died.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So for them not to understand that it's something valid,
Mhm.
first of all, to me, that's I'm like, wow, like someone literally died because of that, the same issue. So maybe it's time to do something about it.
Exactly.
Protect those people. So that's, for me, that's the first layer. Then there's, of course, the layer of like being a woman of color,
True.
which never happened before. And as you said, Renee, as you said so well, people, this is not your experience, but you still think that you can talk on behalf of someone that don't have the same experience as you do. You are a man and you're not black.
Yeah, I mean,
You do not understand what I've learned, and I think that it's time for people to learn not to speak for people. Like, if it's not your experience, if you do not understand it, just respect the person and listen to what they have to say, even if you don't understand it, but just be willing to take it in and to learn from that.
exactly.
So as that, and also the last one that Love Me and I know very well, she comes from a whole other country. So I get it, because and we talked about it in our when we talked about social justice.
Yes.
I know racism manifests itself differently in Europe versus
America.
here in America. So
Mhm.
yeah, it can be brutal. I'm pretty sure it can be brutal for people to experience racism in Europe,
Yeah.
because although here you have a different type of racism basically, but in Europe it's a lot of things that people say that they don't understand, that it's so insensitive.
Mhm.
So yeah, I can understand exactly what goes through her mind. I don't understand her experience, of course, but I can only imagine what she felt like. So I feel like it's important to be attentive to women's mental health.
Mhm.
And I feel like today that would be a topic that we could extend to mental health, to like women's health in general. It's
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
we talk about self-care, we talk about all of this. It's so important for us to take care of ourselves from
Yes,
the
true.
inside out.
And like all of us are saying, if you are watching this, and whether it's your feelings or someone who's had those feelings, uh, don't muzzle yourself. Don't mute
Sure.
yourself. Reach out, seek help. I know there are several hotlines depending on where you are that are available to assist 24/7. We definitely do not want to take away anyone's voice and their right to seek help. But we are going to talk about something in like Marilyn said, relating to health. It's not mental health, but it's women's health. To do that, we are going to bring in a friend of ours. So Sherrine Richmond is with us today. Super exciting. We all know Sherrine, ladies, but for the benefit of those who don't, Sherrine is Sherrine. Tell me your title again, just your title. But I'm going to read the rest about you. But I don't want to mess it up because there's a lot of letters here.
So I am a board certified nurse practitioner. My initial certification is in women's health.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went back and got a postmaster's for family nurse practitioner.
That's what that is, girl. I'm seeing all the letters of the alphabet except Z. I don't want to mess it up. But Sherrine has been a nurse for 22 years. And like she said, she has a certificate in family medicine, board certified women's health nurse practitioner for 10 years. So she knows the business. Owner of Your Will Wellness, which is an integrative medical practice that focuses on health promotion, prevention, hormonal imbalance, and aesthetics. This is the part that was funny to me when I read it. Ready? Sherrine has a passion for educating and putting herself out of business. I know this is so true because I've seen Sherrine, like she lives her job. People walking up to her after church going, "What's this thing on my hand?" And she just
That's
going for
true.
concoction. So I believe it. Here's a disclaimer though. The information that Sherrine is about to provide is for educational purposes only and is not intended as medical advice. Your Wellness, Sherrine Richmond, is not responsible for individuals who choose to self-diagnose, self-treat, or use the information without consulting with their own healthcare practitioner. Welcome again, Sherrine. We're so happy to have you. Ladies, I have a confession to make. So, like I said, I know Sherrine, right? And she's always cool as a cucumber, as we say in Jamaica.
Okay.
So, my goal in life is to get her to sweat. So, I just want to see if it can happen. So
right.
Sherrine loves to run and she's big on fitness. So I made up a game specifically for Sherrine called the 60-second dash.
I'll participate.
And in the 60-second dash, we're going to ask you 10 healthcare questions. And we're going to see if we can get to all 10. And I want to see if I can make you sweat. So here it goes. So Loveman is such a great sport. She's going to help me torture you by putting 60 seconds on the clock.
Oh,
No,
kind of pressure. Okay. All right. I think we can do this.
Okay, let's go for it. Okay.
ready?
So she's going to start after I end my first question, just so we're fair to you when we give you.
All right.
All right.
That's nice.
All right. So here's my first question. I'm starting off easy. What is the number one reason patients come to you? End time.
Because they feel like other practitioners aren't listening to them and they don't feel well. And they say, oh, your labs are fine, but I don't feel well. So that's how people usually find me.
Interesting. Okay. PDO thread versus facelift. Which one?
Oh, well, facelift is definitely more intense, big time surgery. PDO thread is that in between. Just give you a little lift.
Oh, I like that. Number 3.
20th second.
Oh, douching good for vaginal health, true or false?
No, don't do it.
A shocking side effect of hormonal imbalance.
Moods.
Breast size is an indicator in quantity of milk production. True or false?
No, false. I've seen twins, lady that's had twins, and they produce, but they're not huge.
Oh, is that our time? One more. Leading cause of vaginal odor.
Huh?
Oh, okay, can I pretty please get that one in? What's the leading?
Yeah, you want that one?
I want to hear this one. What's the leading cause of vaginal odor?
The leading cause of vaginal, I don't know if it's the leading cause, but one of the main causes is women think that their vagina is supposed to smell like roses. So they put all these things and spray all these things. The vagina is self-cleaning. So we don't need all those things. You don't have to put the soap up in there. Like, the vagina is great. You don't need to add all the extra stuff. Self-cleaning.
I'm good. I feel good about myself. Take it away, Loveman. Thank you so much for playing. And you did good. We got to 6 questions. So hey.
Oh, okay, that's not bad.
Not bad.
Good. More than half of them. Right. So yeah, we talked about that last question. Was very interesting. And
so okay, go ahead, Marilyn.
We hear a lot of myths about women's health, like you should do this. What are the common, like, completely false myths about women's health in general?
So like that one that I just said, your vagina is not supposed to look like roses. It's not supposed to look prepubescent either when you're older, right? We can thank the pornography industry for that. So you're supposed to have some hair that goes along with developmental, right? And then the other thing, so women, when we talk about contraception, there's some type of contraception where you don't have a period, right? And some women are like, well, if I don't have a period, that means the blood is like backing up in there and it's supposed to come out. Well, no, it's actually the contraception is controlling the hormones, so the lining is not building up at all.
That makes sense.
Right? Or some people say, I have to have the period because I have to get all that old blood out. And I'm like, that's not old blood. That's good blood. That if you were pregnant, that's where your baby would grow. That's where your baby would implant. So that blood that comes out during your period is not old, nasty blood, if that makes sense.
Right.
Got it.
And a lot of people are thinking also that when you're breastfeeding, you're not, as long as you're breastfeeding, you're not going to get pregnant. That's one that I hear all the time. And I also know some people who get
Right.
Yeah, I have a cousin that this week that told me she got pregnant.
Yes.
I know that
Yes,
because
it
I have
can
too many
happen.
bad examples.
Yeah, it can happen. Now, when you are breastfeeding, it's what's supposed to happen is the hormones change, so you're less likely to get pregnant if you're exclusively breastfeeding.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's not 100%. You can still get pregnant in breastfeeding. Yeah.
Right.
So can you tell us, is there some things that we do as women daily to our body, but we're not aware that those little things that we do daily are harmful to us or to our hygiene, or do you have any,
So one of
advice?
your quick questions was about douching. So
Ah,
douching sometimes is not good because what happens is that it changes the pH of the vagina. And so when you douche, you change the pH, then that sets you up for yeast infection, can set you up for UTI, all those things. So it's just, I feel like in our society, there's this thing where women are shamed that they have to like over clean down there. And that's the thing that's actually not good for them in the long run.
Wow,
nice.
it's interesting you said that. Let me follow up with this question. So, like for yeast infection, urinary tract infection, serious cramping during period, or if you have like very long or very irregular periods, those are some of the things I know women have issues with sometimes. When do you think it's important? Like, at what point do you need to consult your healthcare professional?
So it's really important that you have a really good relationship with your healthcare professional. That's one of the other reasons with your rapid fire questions why people come to see me. It's because they feel like they go in, it's like a 15-minute visit barely, and people are already on their way out. And so because I do more of integrative medicine and, my patients basically have my cell phone number, they can talk to me and I can guide them a little differently. But when you so there's over-the-counter things that you can use for a yeast infection. Usually those things like your monostat and things like that does actually work. But if you find that it's not helping, then you do need to seek help because you don't want to let things progress. Same thing with very heavy periods. You can end up being anemic. So you do need to check in with your healthcare provider to make sure you're not anemic. I've seen patients who have had heavy periods for a long, long time, and they come in and I have to refer them to a hematologist because they are so severely anemic. So things like that, where it's heavy bleeding or severe pain during your periods and things like that, you don't want to sit on things like that.
I have a question. When is at what age do you want to educate women about their, I guess, genital hygiene and all of stuff? Like, when is it too early to speak about things like that?
It is never too early. It is never too early. I
I have a 3 years old. Like, are you sure? What you want me to tell her?
No, really. So I always tell people. So why, when we're teaching kids that this is your finger, this is your elbow, right? But then when we go to the genitals, it's like, this is your wee and your feet. Like, no, tell them the real name. This is your vagina. This is your penis. So it's never too early to start. And then you teach them the importance of this is one of your private parts and things like that. So you have to make it age appropriate, but we have to stop by shaming them about their genitals. They shouldn't be ashamed of them, and it's part of their body. And so I don't think it's ever too young, but I have a 9-year-old and I say to her, I'm like, is there anything coming out of your vagina? Because I had my period early. I had my period at 9. And so 9 or 10. And so she's 9 and we've already had the conversation about periods. And so she was a little like, I don't want to turn 9 or 10. But I have a conversation about it. Is there anything coming out of your vagina? And she's like, no. I'm like, any discharge at all? And she's like, well, a little bit. Well, a little bit is good. And it's supposed to not have an odor and things like that. So I don't ever really think it's too early to start talking. And then those are the conversations where it's like, you have to be careful sitting in a bubble bath too long. They may have irritation, little girls, if they put too much bubble bath in and things like that. So that's teaching them about hygiene also.
So important.
Thank
And
you.
talking about having that talk, having that conversation. So moment of transparency. So Renee and I were talking when we were preparing this this conversation.
Uh-huh.
We're talking about like how in our community we are Christians. So it's kind of a taboo to talk about contraception. Or we get married, and then you get married, and then like, oh, okay. So how can women find a contraception that works for them, for their body?
So that definitely
what they
needs,
have.
right. It needs to be a conversation you have with your medical provider, because there are so many contraceptive options out there. It definitely depends on your lifestyle. If you are someone that can take a pill every day, then birth control pills might be an option for you. Me, skip, miss, all that stuff, right? So they have options out there that are considered long-acting reversible contraception. So, you know, there's IUDs, there's Nexplanon, there's all different types of things. So it really depends on your lifestyle. And the benefit of discussing this with your healthcare provider is that they will give you the risks, the benefits, all your options, and then with them you make a decision on which one you think is the best one for you.
So since we're talking about and we're just firing away, Sherrine, because I feel like women's health is like there's so many directions you can go with it, and we're trying to we can have everybody hear a little something in the little time we have. But let's talk about another taboo question, or something that most women don't feel comfortable speaking out loud.
Okay.
What can women do to increase their sex drive, like if they're having hormonal issues?
Okay. So sex drive for women starts here in your brain. Okay. So if you are not in a good mood, if you don't feel well, if you are just in a bad headspace, we can give you medication all day long, and you will still not have a sex drive.
For sure.
Right? Or if sex is painful, because I deal with women who are going through sometimes perimenopause and menopause, and their vagina is dry from the loss of estrogen. If it's painful, of course, that's not something that you're going to want to engage in, right? So that's going to affect your sex drive. As a matter of fact, so remember the blue pill, the Viagra for men. So they came out with this pink pill. It's called Abby, which is supposed to be like a sex drive pill for women. It's actually an antidepressant.
Oh,
Wow.
Yeah. So that's why I say it starts in your brain, right? And remember, your brain is where your hormones start too. So if things aren't right up there, or if things hurt in the vaginal area, that's the thing. So you have to really work on your relationship. It really, really matters, because if you're not in the right headspace, there's nothing we can really do about your sex drive. So sex drive, a lot of it starts in women's brains.
Good point.
Right? Like, think about it. When you're in a bad mood, are you thinking about that?
Heck no. Yeah.
That is so true.
So I think I want to ask, Marilyn and I were kind of looking at your page. Marilyn Loveman and I actually were looking at your page, and we saw that you do PDO thread lifts. And it didn't look, and I think you kind of mentioned it. We mentioned it a little bit with the rapid fire questions. Can you tell us a little bit about why that might be considered over like a facelift?
Right. So a facelift is major surgery, right? So they are cutting here, or they're cutting behind your ear, and they are pulling up. So PDO threads are not meant to it's not meant to be a facelift. It's meant to be something that's like intermediate, right? So if your face is all the way down here, a PDO thread is not going to help you. Okay. But if you have a little bit of a full, so everyone ages the same way, right? So everyone ages down because of gravity, and everyone ages forward. So that's why you start to get heavier right here, because you get heavy here, and then you start to get jowly and heavy right here, right? So what the PDO threads are made from the same thing that internal sutures are made from. So
Oh.
the sutures that they don't go back in and take out that are used like during cardiac surgery and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So they dissolve over time. And when they dissolve, they leave collagen behind. And that's what we're chasing. As you age, you have collagen loss. And so what the PDO does is that it creates collagen right where it's placed. And that gives you a bit of a lift.
Okay.
Right? So that's how it works. So I have 10 threads in my face.
Really?
I do, because I am a big promoter of, I don't promote anything that's, what would you say?
You
Totally, it's like it's not
basically.
medically necessary. Like I'm not going to promote something
Mhm.
that is voluntary or something like that I don't do to myself. So, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 10.
Wow.
I have some here to lift the brow, 1 and 1. And then I think I have 2 here and then 2 back here. So
That is so cool to me. Like that is just
I don't know if you, I just because I was on Instagram today and they were talking about Khloe Kardashian, like how her face just dropped, and you don't look anything like that. So it's
Right.
you are
So many
glowing.
people who have surgeries, and then you see like
You
in
can
the beginning,
tell.
it looks kind of good in the beginning, and then you start to see the picture that you see like the mouth is shifting, and then the forehead is like they don't have any more expressions on their face. Like
right.
That's good
So
to
it
know.
is-
Like,
scary. It is scary.
Yeah,
out there.
well, it does look, if you follow me on Instagram, right? I think I've shown the one where I'm actually getting my eyebrow done.
Mhm. I saw it.
And people are like, Sherrine, why didn't you
Oh, it's
warn me? Because you see my eye, like my eye's closed and it's doing this thing.
Yes. Like, whew. Is it painful or no?
So I use numbing medication because I'm not into pain.
Got it.
It's numb, right? And I tell them, I'm like, please, I don't want to feel this. I'm already nervous because I know what's happening. Even though I do it, I still get nervous. So I numb people because I don't want pain. I'm sure you don't want pain either. So.
And as my little thing comes up to remind me that we're running out of time. But I wanted to ask you, so 2 questions from the rapid fire that are really easy that we didn't get to, but I think it might just be helpful is what age should men start getting themselves checked out?
So the recommendation is, you're talking about sexually, right?
Like how women have mammogram, which is the next question. Like we
Yeah.
do mammograms at a certain age. What age is that? And when should men have their prostate, I think, checked? What age?
Right. So prostate exam is usually around 40. Now it really depends because some of the guidelines are going more towards getting blood work versus getting the digital rectal exam, which, all guys love that.
Right.
The thing about the digital rectal exam is that when they're checking the prostate with the finger, you're only feeling a part of the prostate. So there can be a whole nother side that can have something there that you can miss just because of the location. Mm-hmm. So a lot of the recommendations are now going towards just doing the blood work and then, adding in as part of their normal physical exam. But keep in mind, so there's been some more traction, women go through menopause and perimenopause. So they're finding that men start to lose some of their testosterone in their 40s and 50s also. And it's termed andropause. Mm-hmm. So they can start to have low testosterone and be moody and all these other things too. So it's not just us. So, and they kind of get ignored in that area a little bit. So I do encourage guys when they start to not feel themselves too, to get their hormones checked too.
Awesome. Right. Well, so we always love to promote businesses. And so we wanted to give you the space to tell us a little bit about Your Will Wellness and tell us your handles. Where can people find you if they want to keep up with you or schedule an appointment? Where are you located? All of that good stuff.
So I am located in Lake Mary, Florida. So I'm in 2 locations. So the Lake Mary, Florida location is where I do a lot of the integrative medicine and hormone imbalance. And then I also go over to Winter Park And that's where I do the aesthetics over in Winter Park. So Winter Park, so you can find me if you're looking for aesthetics and things like that. You can look at Your Will Wellness on Facebook or on Instagram, or One Aesthetics, because One Aesthetics is the name of the practice where I go to do aesthetics. So One Aesthetics WP is their Instagram handle. And then my website is www.yourwillwellness.com. You can find me there. 407-378-7976.
Come on.
All you need is a jingle.
Right.
I make sure I got a number that I liked, right? That alone. And everything is by appointment only. So I'm very flexible. Like before, I'm available in the evening time, and I do have some Sunday hours too. So I try to help people out, because I know it's hard to schedule appointments when you're working your normal 9 to 5. So I see a lot of my patients in the evening, and then the Sunday hours definitely help.
Awesome.
Nice.
The ladies, did we appreciate her? Did we learn anything? Did we have fun?
Yes, and she has to come back. That's what I feel.
Mhm.
I learned a lot of things. I'm not going to tell which one I'm taking for myself, but I learned a lot of things.
Take whatever you need. Take whatever you need. Oh, there's one more thing I wanted to talk about too, a little bit for integrative, is that it's really important for you to have good gut health, ladies. Because good gut health helps with making your neurotransmitters. And there's been so much research out there between the gut and brain connection. So, when you get nervous, you get the butterflies in your stomach.
Mhm.
That's actually physiological. So there is something that's happening in your brain or in your stomach when your brain is, nervous about something. So it's really important for you to have really good gut health, because it inadvertently does affect how your hormones are made and your brain health too. So that's my little.
What can you do to nurture that gut health? Sorry, Renee.
No problem. So having a healthy diet, having lots of fiber, more vegetables and fruit. But definitely, I tell my patients, eat an apple and an avocado a day if you can. Okay, those are like 2 tips that I always tell people, because the fiber from the apple is amazing. And if you could put that on top of a salad, if you do fruit in your salad or not, so increase your fiber. That really helps. And then another thing is to avoid things that may cause inflammation. And so dairy, lots of dairy does cause inflammation in the gut. Making sure that you're getting probiotics. So probiotics, either using fermented foods or having a good quality probiotic. I remember when probiotics were like, oh, they don't work. And then you see patients in the hospital, they're on probiotics, right? Because now they're actually seeing that they do work.
That's help.
So things like that, probiotics, a healthy diet, lots of fiber, exercise, hydration, drink your water. That's big. Yes, Renee, drink your water.
You're so attacked.
So those are a lot of things that will help with your gut health.
Well,
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Like I said, you need to come back. I think we know she needs to come back, right?
Anytime.
She has stuff that she hasn't gone into yet that we need.
Yes, exactly. That was just an introduction.
Thank you so much again, Sherrine. We really appreciate you. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me.
Our pleasure. For those of you who are listening, if you have a question that maybe we didn't get to, please be free to just post them in the chat. We will definitely have Sherrine back, and we will be happy to talk about anything that interests you. If you found this episode to be of any importance, if you learned anything new, one of the biggest compliments you can pay us is by paying it forward. Go ahead and hit the like, subscribe, share, so that other people may be alerted to some of these helpful gems. We are so happy to be in this space with you. We're committed to bringing you topics that you love so we can all grow together. Until next time, take care of yourselves and each other. Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.